And then after Donald Trump won the election, Jeff Sessions was the first announcement he made for his cabinet. It was announced that Jeff Sessions would be the Attorney General in the Trump administration. Well, tonight it feels like that might not last. The New York Times has just published an interview with President Trump in which he threatens to fire Robert Mueller, the special counsel investigating him on the Russia investigation. He criticizes Robert Mueller and says Mueller has conflicts of interest in the Russia investigation, conflicts that the president says he knows about, and he hasn't yet revealed them, but he will. He also rips the acting director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, which might sound random, but it's become a talking point on the Fox News channel and in conservative media in recent days, and so maybe we should have seen that coming. The president in this new interview also casts aspersions on the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, who is someone he appointed to that job, Rod Rosenstein, who's the one now overseeing the Trump-Russia investigations at the Justice Department because Attorney General Jeff Sessions is supposedly recused from them. In this same interview, though, importantly, the president also rips the Attorney General himself, Jeff Sessions, who he has been seen as so close to and who really did a huge amount toward making Trump a Republican candidate instead of just an iconoclastic, conservative, free-floating, non-party affiliated candidate in the primary. In this new interview tonight, the president criticizes his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, in such a way that in normal times, we would expect an official criticized this way by the president to resign before the evening is over. That said, these are not normal times, so who knows? We don't have a transcript of this interview yet from the New York Times tonight. We just have their write-up of, which is basically their characterization and a few quotes, few direct quotes from the president. They did, though, release this one piece of audio.
Sessions gets the job. Right after he gets the job, he recuses himself.
Was that a mistake?
Well, Sessions should have never recused himself. And if he was going to recuse himself, he should have told me before he took the job, and I would have picked somebody else.
Mm-hmm. He gave you no heads up at all in any sense?
Zero.
Okay.
So Jeff Sessions takes the job, gets into the job, recuses himself. I then have, which frankly, I think is very unfair to the president. How do you take a job and then recuse yourself? If he would have recused himself before the job, I would have said, thanks, Jeff, but I can't, I'm not going to take you. It's extremely unfair, and that's a mild word, to the president. So he recuses himself. I then end up with a second man who's a deputy.
So that's the only audio that we've gotten. We don't yet have a transcript from the Times, but just from that audio, first of all, now we know that President Trump speaks about himself as the president in the third person, as if that's not him. Second, there is a very interesting question that he's pointing at that doesn't at all seem obvious to me. Maybe I'm just being dense here. But when he says it's unfair to the president, meaning himself, that his Attorney General has recused himself from the Trump-Russia investigation, why is that unfair? I mean, why is that unfair unless you would want your Attorney General overseeing the Russia investigation in a way that was favorable to you, right? I mean, the reason Jeff Sessions recused himself from the Russia investigation is because the Russia investigation is about the Trump campaign, and Jeff Sessions was a big part of the Trump campaign. He actually recused himself from all investigative matters that might have anything to do with the campaign, with the Clinton campaign or the Trump campaign, with anything that happened in the campaign for the presidency in 2016. Why would that be unfair to the president for him to take himself out of an oversight role of investigations into that? Unless Trump believes the only way to be fair and to fairly treat the president in that regard is to oversee those investigations in a way that is favorable to him.